Look, I figured it out. I know why the Hawks were losing so many games, why they lost 8 in a row. I'm going to take the blame for it, all right? It's my fault, and I'm sorry I didn't correct this sooner. It was my beard, okay? I just had a bad batch. It happens sometimes. I'm sorry, but I've corrected it, trimmed it all up. We got a new one going. We're ready to go. Hawks win. I mean, it's simple science.
Sucker bleu. I want to overact.
What was that? This is going to be a good year.
Not this year. The best game ever.
Hello and welcome to Hawks Recap. If Pat Foley was in the booth tonight, he would have loved the fact that this was the 33rd game for the Hawks this season, but instead this was broadcasted on national television, NBC, so the world got to see the Hawks snap their 8-game losing streak, and they... it's been a while. We're going to have to shake off the rust here. We're going to have to load it up, cock it, and the Blackhawks win. They beat the Pittsburgh Penguins at home. The final score of 6-3, 4-3, and then 2 empty netters, but officially 6-3. And boy, does this feel good. Now, before I get into the game, there are a couple things I do want to kind of talk about here. Last game, last Hawks recap, I feel really bad about this because my mind was just so perturbed by the whole 8-game losing streak and everything. But last game was Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook's 1,000th game playing with each other. Only the 7th pair of teammates to play 1,000 games together in league history, and the only pair of defensemen to play together for 1,000 games in league history. That is incredible. That is such a huge milestone. It's insane. And it just reminds us of how good we've had it with them on this team the last decade or so. I know the last couple of years have been disappointing, and these guys have kind of fallen off a little bit with their play, but still, we've had it good with these guys. Next up, if you are a Twitter user and you do not follow Dana Hines, do it right now. Follow him. Seriously, he is the equipment manager of the Pittsburgh Penguins. I know he's not associated with the Blackhawks, but still, he provides a really, really cool insight into this game that we love. He posts pictures every single day, basically every single hour of the day. It's insane. He's such a great window into what goes on behind the scenes with this game, with the NHL, with the equipment and how it's set up and the locker rooms and everything. It's just really, really neat. Stuff you just don't see just watching the game on TV. And the players will be the first to tell you, without equipment managers, without those guys, there's no way this game is played at the level it is. It's such a cool look into that world. I highly, highly recommend giving them a follow. This whole day, just seeing them post pictures of the Penguins kind of set up and everything, visitors locker room, as they come into Chicago to play the Hawks, it was really neat to see. I seriously recommend following him. Now, getting to the game, I don't know what it is against the Penguins, but we always seem to play well against them. I know we've just been struggling coming out of the gates in the last 3 weeks here, just having awful, atrocious first periods, getting down by multiple goals every single game. But this game was different. This team looked completely different, like a completely different team. And it wasn't because Sekera and Dahlstrom joined the team and Fortan gets sent down. That had nothing to do with it. They didn't really do anything that made this team play that much better. Just the entire team, the want, the competitiveness, the confidence, it was all there in this game, especially the first period. They wanted it. They wanted to start well, and they did. And they used that to their advantage, and they found a way to score first. The fourth line was absolutely fantastic in this game. Kruger and Martinson got second and first star. Deservedly, they were fantastic. Hayton was great in this game. These guys were pressuring the Penguins, forechecking. They just were not making life easy for the Penguins, and they got rewarded for it. 14 minutes into the game, Kruger had a great chance, just a scramble in front of the net. His shot hits the post, but comes out. Dahlstrom ends up shooting the puck. It hits off Martinson, goes in, kind of a Doug Latt kind of moment. But the Hawks get on the board first, 1-0. Like, is this real life? It's been so long since we've had a lead, especially early in the game. You could just tell that this was going to be a different night. Then about 3.5 minutes after that, Blackhawks still pressuring, have the puck in the offensive zone. Jonathan Toews, Brent Seabrook kind of taking turns with the puck here. Jonathan Toews gets it back to Brent Seabrook. Defensive breakdown by the Penguins. Seabrook walks in and rips a slap shot by DeSmith, and the Hawks are up 2-0. Unfortunately, a minute after that, Blackhawks with a defensive breakdown. Not really all that new this season. Brian Rust walks in and just snipes it by Crawford. Not really a whole lot Crawford could do about that one. And we go into the first intermission with the Hawks up 2-1. And we're now kind of thinking, well, Hawks have the lead, but do they know how to play with the lead? Because they haven't done that in about a month. So this is going to be interesting. A little under 6 minutes into the second period, we kind of find out as the Hawks turn the puck over in the neutral zone. Penguins take it the other way. A little bit of a breakaway. Not really, I guess. But Grant, one-on-one with Crawford, puts a shot on. Crawford saves it, but it's a juicy rebound. Rust comes in and pots home that rebound basically into a wide-open net. Rust with the second goal of the game. He would have many, many other opportunities, some grade A chances in this game. Crawford would stone him a couple of times, keep his team in this game like he's done pretty much all season. The Blackhawks played better defensively, but he still gave up some grade A chances in this game. But the Hawks, Penguins, they're tied at 2, and now the question is, okay, well, Penguins came back to tie it up, and is this kind of where the meltdown begins? Are we heading towards a 9th straight loss? Both teams would have multiple chances in the second period. As mentioned, Rust had a couple grade A chances, Crawford coming up big. But with about 4.5 minutes left to go in the second, Blackhawks go on the power play. And on that power play, DeBrincat gets a pass in the neutral zone at the blue line. Just a very, very skillful pickup of the puck. Basically, the puck's behind him. He picks it up with his stick. Gets it. The Penguins were left dumbfounded. It seemed like flat-footed because they were just amazed that he picked it up and was onside. He takes it past the defenseman, one-on-one with the goal. He just flips it up over the shoulder and in. Oh, just a beautiful goal. That is skillful. Skillful, I tell you. Hawks regain the lead 3-2, and that's how it's going to be going into the third period. Or at least that's what it should have been if it wasn't for Rust having the hot hand in this game. Penguins making a push, and with a little under a minute left to go in the period, Rust gets the puck and he tries to pass it towards the front, but he passes it right to the stick of Seabrook, and Seabrook's stick just basically redirects it past Crawford and in, and well, Rust has a hat trick, and this game is tied going into the third. And if Pat Foley was in the booth, he would have a field day with it because it's 3-3 going into the third of the 33rd game of the season. A little under 4 minutes into the third period, the fourth line for the Blackhawks strikes again with a little help from Dylan Strome, who's not a fourth liner, but he's on the ice at this point, and he's the first forward into the forecheck, and he ends up pinning 2 Penguins players to the boards. I mean, this whole season, basically, at least this last month, we've been asking whether anyone on this team could win a 50-50 board battle, and here's Dylan Strome just, winning a 1-on-2, winning the puck. Andreas Martinson picks the puck up and then finds a wide-open Marcus Kruger in front of the net. Kruger just has to tap it home, and he does. And the Hawks take a 4-3 lead. I mean, seriously, Strome, are you kidding me? Now, I'm still a little emotional about this trade, okay? And there's no logic behind it, really. There's no logic. I'm just emotional because I really, really wanted Schmaltz to succeed in Chicago. I really did. I really wanted him to succeed as a Hawk. But Strome has been fantastic. Ever since joining the Hawks, he has been great. He's been great, and it showed on this play here, and it was a play that helped the Hawks take the lead again and take a lead in which they would never look back from. That was a big play in this game. The rest of the third period, the Penguins pressured. The Hawks defense stepped up. They weren't entirely clean. I don't know if this defense can be entirely clean, but they played better. Crawford made some huge saves in the third period, and the Penguins had to resort to pulling their goalie with about 2 minutes left in the game. And at this point, I mean, everybody's watching the clock, right? Everybody wants this clock to just count down, and we want to get this win, It's just, come on, clock, go faster. But the best way to make that clock go faster is to get an empty net goal. And my God, you could tell this team wanted that. They were putting so much effort in the defensive zone, not letting the Penguins really get anything set up with the extra man. And then they finally get it cleared out, and the puck is going down the ice, and Patrick Kane is just racing after it. absolutely busting his butt. And he has to dive. He dives. He sacrifices himself to try and whack the puck into the net. The puck just goes wide, but he goes crashing into the boards. I mean, for a superstar player to do that, you could tell he wanted this, right? He wanted that empty netter. And if that empty netter goes in, that's a play of the week in the league. For sure. Absolutely. It would have been incredible. But just that effort, that sacrifice, that desire to try and end this losing streak. He doesn't wear an A, but you could tell just the leadership he had because of that, to do what he did in that moment, to get his team the win. Actions speak loudly, and those actions spoke loudly. He didn't get it done there, but just a little bit later, the Hawks would get another opportunity, and Jonathan Toews would end up burying it, and the Hawks seal this game up. Brandon Saad would end up getting another empty net goal a little bit later. A little bit of a reward for hitting the post earlier in this game. Seriously, Brandon Saad, stop hitting posts. Like, he is so good at hitting posts. It's ridiculous. So the Hawks win. They snap their 8-game losing streak. They snap their second 8-game losing streak of the year, which scientifically I think we've proven that the Hawks can't lose more than 8 games in a row. I think we found that line. They cannot go more than 8 games in a row of losing. So that's kind of nice to have that little insurance to say, you know what? In the future, if this team loses 8 games in a row again, at least it's not going to be 9. We know we're going to win the next one. With Toews' empty net goal, also to note that was his 700th career NHL point. Just another really cool milestone to acknowledge, and just another reminder of how good it's been with not only him being on this team, but him captaining this team, and even having to deal with a really awkward Pierre interview after the game. Seriously, Pierre, what are you doing? So the Hawks win a game, the start of their 4-game homestand here. They get to play Winnipeg next. We'll see what happens there. Winnipeg, we know, is a really good team, but maybe this will be a confidence boost for this team. They know that they can play well if they put forth 60 minutes of good hockey. We can see what this team can do when they have confidence. They have the skill when they have confidence. It's just that whole mental aspect that's really missing, or has been missing, from this team. And when they can put it all together, they can essentially beat anyone. But we'll see what happens. One game doesn't really mean anything in this league. And with that, I say thank you so much for watching this episode of Hawks Recap. It's about time we got one after a win. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate that as always. If you're looking for last-minute Christmas or holiday gifts, I have a link to merch down in the description. Check that out if you're interested. But most importantly, as always, stay safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you next time.